In today's video, I will be testing the new controls. In order to get the controls wired in, what you need to get is you need to get the circuit diagram, and you really need to trace it. You need to find all the controls and all the lights, and you need to trace and connect them together so you really understand how the circuit works. If you don't understand, you risk ruining your bike, you risk short circuits, you risk a lot of nasty things. So this is the starting point. Understanding this diagram is the starting point. You obviously need your stock controls. You do need to open them up and then trace each cable. So first of all, you can get the color of each cable so you know exactly what each color does. So you can and then you make these notes, and then you can check your findings against the circuit diagram again. So the circuit diagram doesn't give you colors of each cable, but here with a very small print you have the pin number, so you know which pin, which terminal has which function. Finally, you're also given the QR code. It opens up an installation manual, and Remmoto provide you with the meaning and the description of each color on the new controls. So like I said, there are two options how you can use these controls. There's a plug and play option, and the plug and play is very simple. You have these two connectors. They are stock connectors, so they are compatible with the stock harness. So you replace like to like, and then just go and plug it into your bike harness. In order for this to work, you need to order controls with lock buttons for the indicators. My setup is different. The plug and play option assumes that here as indicator buttons, you have lock buttons like these two buttons here. So the lock button means you press it and it stays in place, it stays pressed. You need to press it again to release it. So this would work exactly like your current toggle switch to control the indicator. You press it and the indicator will blink while the button is pressed. You release it and the indicator cancels. I want to do something different. I want to put reset buttons. So this means the indicator would blink only for the duration you hold the button pressed, and this would obviously not be ideal. This is not gonna work. In order for this to work, you need this flashing relay. It's called multi-flasher relay from Axle Juiced. What it does, it senses through these wires that the button was pressed, and then it calculates the output. So you can sense the duration the button was pressed for. Say I give it a short press, this will trigger the indicator to blink just a few times. If I hold it for longer, like a few seconds, this will then make the indicator flash for longer. And the cool feature is the self cancellation. Press it once shortly, it will give it a few blinks and then cancel. So this is pretty cool, and that's why I have this flasher relay. So what I want to do now is I want to connect everything together to make like a temporary draft connection, and then I want to go on the bike, test that all the functions work before I install it on the bars. I'm not going to use this auxiliary button on the back. Just want to save the amount. I just want to reduce the amount of cables I have to route, so I'll just remove the button. I'll twist this button for now, but actually I might replace it with just a blank. I think it would be a good idea to put some Loctite on them as well. As you can see, there are two ways how you can route the cables. You can route them externally to the bars, like this, or you can make a hole and then you can route them through the bars. What's very nice is that Remmoto sends you the entire kit, and they can even crimp the connectors. So if you are going for the plug-and-play version, it's super simple. You don't need to do all this. You just buy it and install on the bike. Okay, let's make sense of the wires now. So these two red, these are the starter wires. The blue and white, this is the kill switch. And green and black is the indicator button. So let's take this indicator button aside for now. Starter button is done. The most important step is to check, double check. So according to my records, the blue from the controls, the blue from the switch should correspond to brown and green. Okay, the white should correspond to red and black. And then the two reds are blue and white, and then brown. Okay, so it does look correct. So I've done the wiring. So now this is the most interesting part. I need to go and test on the bike. If this is working, I will explain what I did. In today's video, I will be testing the new controls. I'd like to make sure before I route them through the bars that all the functions work, all the buttons work, and the wiring that I designed has no errors and everything works fine. So I will need to put the tank back. Okay, so this is the moment of truth. If something is wrong, we'll blow a few fuses now. So far, so good. The fuel pump is working. Okay, so this is not working. Oh, this is working. All right, let's start the bike. The bike is in neutral. Let's start it quickly and kill it. Oh. And the kill switch is working. All right, fantastic. So I know that I got the connections all right. And what I can do now is I can do the final routing of the wires, making proper connections there, soldering it all up. And hopefully by the time when the throttle arrives, I can start putting everything together. Good. I was a little bit nervous, but I'm happy that it all worked. And before I wrap up for today, I would like to remove one of the clamp bolts because I would like to order a different one, and hopefully we'll be able to get the one with a hole through the bolt, and I can route the wiring through the bolt so it won't be visible here. We'll make it even cleaner. So I'll remove this one to make sure I know which to order. I will also take the throttle cable so I can order, or at least I can look for a shorter throttle cable because that one is way too long.